If you had asked me that was how the show was going to end, I would have cursed you with the curse of Bulgasal. Because the last time we left episode 6, we were just like,
제가 선택한 사람은 신지연입니다.
what an idiot.
I know.
What's up, Sunday fam? Welcome back to another video. Don't pay attention to this card. I just wanted to feel like a commentator on Singles Inferno. We finished Singles Inferno, and it ended not like what we expected at all. If you watched our previous video, we said some things.
Yep.
But spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the final episodes of Singles Inferno, we will be talking about the last 2 episodes.
Yes.
So without further ado, let's get into it.
No damsel in distress. Come too close, I might just lose it. I knock you down like boom, 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 boom.
Oh my gosh. I'm very happy for Se-Hoon. Because, as many of you have left it in the comments below, he's admirable. He's a one-man guy. Or a one-woman guy. One-woman guy. And he went after Jiyeon, like, with determination, and he wouldn't be swayed, even though there were 2 new contenders in there. Like, it didn't matter to him. And he was very honest with his feelings, and he won. He's like the winner. He's the winner of Singles Inferno. He did
have the ultimate victory, because now a lot of our comments from episode 6 kind of stem from, like, consent, where you notice that a girl's just not into you. So you're just like, all right, I'll leave it at that. And that's typically how we operate, when it comes to courting the people we're attracted to. But I guess this show is like a different beast. We didn't see it coming. And so, like, going into episode 7, we're just like, okay, where's this going? I'm so confused right now. And then they actually had a great time.
Yeah, their date was fantastic. I mean, they hashed out a lot of misunderstandings. It was awesome that Se-Hoon was very understanding of Ji-Yoon's feelings. Because it felt like that was the first time maybe she had a serious conversation about her own feelings, and it also led to her kind of crying a little bit, and that was like very touching,
Yeah, that was actually their second date, which was even more surprising.
That was awesome.
At the end of episode 7, I was even more confused, because I thought they had like you said, they had hashed out their unresolved feelings and come to understand each other. In terms of, like, they didn't have a chance to talk to each other, and they were awkward at times, and then when it came to Ji-Yoon's choice for her paradise, she chose Se-Hoon. I was like,
제가 천국도에 같이 가고 싶은 사람은 문세훈 씨입니다.
wait, what's going on? But then, like, you start to realize throughout the last episode that, in fact, they both kind of grew closer and closer to each other for having revealed these feelings. And like you said, she started crying and she was embarrassed, and Se-Hoon was very caring in that moment. And at that moment, I was like, all right, so he's not really shady. He's just very stubborn when it comes to those that he's going after.
Yeah, I was actually nervous because Ji-Yoon was very determined in that beach cap takeaway game.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Like, I've never seen that before, but Ji-Yoon, like, was surprising to me because I didn't expect her to be that kind of competitor. And she was also very athletic, like, like trying to take the caps away.
I didn't expect So-Yeon to lose.
Yeah, I didn't either, but like it was Se-Hoon, he had some calculations in there and just kind of walked around and let the 2 girls battle it out, and both of their caps fell off.
It was the Hulk. It was the Hulk and the boxer. And it was just like 2 of the most athletic people there. And they both lost, and Soo-min ended up winning.
Yeah, and I was nervous when Ji-Yoon was up in the campfire when she was about to choose who her date was, but ultimately it was Se-Hoon. Oh man, I'm just so happy. Like I'm okay being wrong.
Yes.
But my first impressions of Se-Hoon was always like, oh, this is a really nice guy. He's like, he takes care of everyone. He's nice, and then like that idiot part happens and then now I'm back into like my original impression of him, so I'm very happy.
Speaking of So-Yeon, like the spiciest dates ever. I mean, like, there were some rough edges.
Stay in bed with me.
There were some rough edges leading up to these moments because they had like made a promise with each other, and then Jintaek went to paradise with Ji-Yeon, and their feelings started getting confusing. But it looks like they worked it out, and then they got really touchy-feely with each other, and they spent the night in
shoulder
bed.
massages.
I love
massage.
I love the commentator who was like, I have a question. Did you guys
질문 있어요.
Did you guys leave the cameras on? No, I don't think anything happened.
No.
I think they had like a really intimate kind of conversation, falling asleep and then waking up. But that was kind of like the last hurdle.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're like a fully formed couple, and they were like together all the way to the end. I'm not surprised anymore because Jin-taek has always been interested in Se-Hoon, and like his feelings were out there from the very beginning. He chose Ji-yeon because like he thought Ji-yeon would not pick him, and it just kind of coincidentally happened, and so that's where the misunderstanding.
Yeah, and we were left kind of wondering, did he actually like genuinely want to get to know?
I mean, all they
better?
did was like put face masks on their dates, right? It wasn't really like anything romantic.
It was definitely an innocent date, and I'm not surprised either. As soon as like they had their first date and he was like, I'm not coming here with anyone other than you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, these guys are probably going to end up together.
Yeah, tell me that you didn't have any stray thoughts. It was like, man, this guy's a player, but actually he's not.
No, I actually didn't think he was a player.
Okay, cool.
I thought he was a softie at heart.
Yeah.
너를 데리고 천국을 넘어 천상으로 가고 싶어.
Speaking of a player, though, Gia.
Gia, our silent assassin. Woo.
She is an absolute
Master.
killer.
She's a master.
And I don't know if I have any like, pity for her in terms of like having all those people fight for her, like because she tells Hyun Jung, I've already made up my mind. She tells Hyun Sung, I haven't made up my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to include Xian in this because he just did not try at all.
Well, I mean, we could say Se-Hoon is the absolute winner of Singles Inferno, but Gia is the absolute queen of the game. Like, she doesn't say much, but 3 men are after her, and like she like communicates with her eyes, and she shakes her heads like yeah, and then like they just kind of like melt in front of her, and this leads us all the way to the end where all the way where they're all set up in different locations at the beach, and then the men would have to like go and partner up with them and see who ends up leaving Inferno together.
Yeah, and she ended up choosing Hyun Jung. Like, of course, she went to Shihun, and she was like, I'm not choosing you. And then she went to Hyun Sung and was like, I agree. There must have been a reason we met. Probably business related.
Yeah,
like before.
I actually wondered what that was all about.
Yeah,
like, what was the reason?
Well, they were going to work together.
I thought it was like, yeah, you're right. There is a reason. Like, we're not meant to be kind of thing.
And then, of course, she chose.
가자 강아지. 가자 강아지. 가자 강아지.
Hyun Jung and saying, "Come here, let's go, my puppy." And I was just like, she is a boss. Like, she wants a subservient puppy, and I don't want to ascribe that to Hyun Jung, but he's happy to do it.
Happy to do it.
But this leads me to the conversation around introducing new cast members.
Yes.
Late.
Yeah, why?
Like these people had a full 8 days to get in touch with, like, going to Paradise, getting to know each other, having their sidebar conversations with each other in Inferno.
Yeah.
And then they I don't know when exactly did they introduce.
I think it was like day
members?
5 or day 6, somewhere along there. Yeah.
Really? They only had like 3 days?
Yeah, it wasn't that's why I'm like, why did they bring him in so late in the game?
Yeah.
I feel bad for Minji because she was like love struck, like
no,
Se-Hoon.
she was like head over heels.
Yeah,
almost.
and then Sumin, I feel bad for her too. Like, they didn't have enough time to really connect with anyone, so it almost felt like they were just like the outcasts of the show.
And ultimately, those 3 were the ones that didn't walk away with it.
It was just so sad, especially Sumin. Like, when she, like, it felt like Se-Hoon was going to.
Listen,
that was like. What?
Before we get into that, I do want to congratulate Jinshik and Yewon because, I mean, we're not really going to get into heavy detail about them. Congratulations to them because, like, they seemed like they liked each other from the beginning, and there was no hesitation on my end to kind of put them together. Going into what you were saying, so Hyun Jung did a switcheroo with So-Yun where it was his turn to choose, and he walked towards So-Yun, and then like the guys were like, "It would be funny if you chose So-Yun," and he went, "Great job," and then went to Gia as we all thought he would.
Yeah.
That switcheroo was funny. Se-Hoon, even though he had the ultimate victory, and Shion, those two did that to women that liked them.
Yeah.
That chose them.
Right.
And so Se-Hoon did that to Minji, who was head over heels for him.
Yeah.
And was like, good job. And went to Jiyeon.
That was that was
Se-Hoon did it to Sumin.
Well, it's kind of weird because Minji was on his way. He was on his way to Jiyeon, and Minji was just there. Like, it would have been worse if he didn't do anything, right?
I don't know about that though. I like. Okay, so my bottom line is those two were a-holes. Like, so the
I feel
path.
different.
So if I can like portray this to you guys watching, the path was like this. Jiyeon was at the top. Minji was off to the side. So Seon went like this.
But
Good job.
The trail was there. No, it was very different with the way Se-Hoon did it versus the way Jiyeon did it. Jiyeon like was like stopped for a moment and revolved, like just hung out for like 4 seconds and 5 seconds and then said thank you and then left. That was the big a-hole move. Versus Jiyeon where he just kind of like, he was on his way, he didn't stop, shook her hand, good job, and just kept going. So like the levels of assholeness from 1 to 5, I think Se-Hoon takes the cake there.
I would have to agree with you, but I think both of them kind of did them dirty.
I mean, I guess what would you say though? Like, I mean, Se-Hoon could just like take the other path like away from her. I guess you
could just go straight to the person you choose.
Sure.
Like I'm trying to put my shoes on the other foot because like, what would you rather? Would you rather have them coming towards you and you're your hopes up and you're like, oh my gosh.
It was like the producers and directors. You have to go this way. Say something. I mean, it's like more drama, right? And so like I think that's what happened.
Whether or not that's the case, like I would never kind of like. To me, that's just like an indirect rubbing it in.
Yeah, but what about like the drone shot at the end?
Oh,
the drone shot is like, okay, you guys have to stand here for 5 minutes while we fly these drones to take the shots of you guys looking sad and depressed.
I don't know. I mean, like everyone looked kind of sad at the very end for not having been picked.
Especially Minji and Sumin. They looked pretty sad.
And like that drone shot it seemed like an eternity. And it probably was an eternity. They were in Inferno.
Oh man, yeah.
You know, and that drone circled around them and they had to stand on the beach. Not like, it wasn't a shot of them just kind of like exiting Inferno. Oh, that's the end of the show. They had to stand in their spots.
There, yeah.
And then the drone flew away and then went all the way to Jeju Island and they were still standing there. I don't know. But the show ended up being quite the show. Like it wasn't something I expected.
You know, this is what I told my friend. It kind of toes the line of shallowness and wholesomeness, but yet entertaining till the end.
Yeah.
And it really kind of struck us and surprised us. It surprised me, surprised you, because we saw the trailer. Our first impression was like, oh, this is like another trashy reality show. But at the end of the day, there was some wholesomeness to it that I really appreciated. And, you know, happy with the way it ended.
I want to do like a little last day for us.
Okay.
Because I started this show picking Jiyeon, and then after a couple of days, I was like, oh, Soyeon is you know, I can relate to her.
Right.
The last day, I would have picked Sumin.
Why?
Because she was like, she was charming and she had the dimple.
Yep.
And I don't know, she was like, not knowing anything about her other than that she was like a model.
Yeah.
Just the way she carried herself was very attractive.
Yeah, my ideal type, like personality wise, is Yewon, and like I also feel like she deserved better in this show, but she did go to paradise, so that's okay. Like she ended up being the village counselor. She ended up consoling everyone who was having a tough time at, you know, in the island, and so like that was really cool of her to do.
I felt like that was kind of like a product of just because no one was interested in her except for Junshik.
Well, I mean, yeah.
And Junshik was and she wasn't interested in anyone else but Junshik.
Yeah.
And so like they both shared a commonality of like no one wants them, but they want each other.
Yeah.
So they'll just console the others in their pursuits.
Yeah, but I think also like my first choice from the very beginning was Jiyeon. And I think on the last day I would have chosen her too.
Interesting. You would have had to fight our ultimate goodest boy Se-Hoon for that crown. Who is still dating?
Yeah, and I think
succeeded.
This would be really quick, like based on their Instagram channels, and there's a couple of articles that I'm going to link in the description below if you want to read into it. But a couple of netizens, or not couple, but netizens have done their detective work, gone through all of their social channels. So Se-Hoon and Jintaek are still together because there's been like pictures and videos from her YouTube channel and her Instagram and his Instagram. They've been spotted in the same places at the same time. Se-Hoon and Jaehyun, they don't know yet because there's really no evidence. Jaehyun follows Se-Hoon's Instagram, but somehow Jaehyun's Instagram got hacked, and so she has a new channel. So there's no conclusive evidence that they're still together. But I hope that they're still together because they seem like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely make us feel better about the ultimate victory.
Yeah.
Instead, they would just walk away and then afterwards like, nah, we're good.
I know. And Gia and her puppy are still together.
Interesting. Well, we would know. Her social media presence is through the roof, right? So
don't forget to look at those articles in the description below.
Well, in any case, that'll do it for this discussion on Singles Inferno. Let us know in the comment section below if there are any other shows like this, whether it's Japanese, Korean, or whatever.
Yes.
We were looking at Future Diary. Not sure if it's gaining popularity or not, but we'll see what happens. We're interested in covering more shows like this. Ever since I watched the trailer and I was like, nah, this doesn't look like for me. But then this show tapped into my need to ship people. And so I would love to cover more shows like this. If you have any shows that you want to recommend, you want to see us cover, then leave it in the comment section below. But if you enjoyed our discussion on Singles Inferno's finale, like this video, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell icon, turn on notifications, share this video, help us out. Let us grace the presence of other people in the internets, like your friends and your family.
Yes.
But in any case, this is what we're watching this Sunday. We'll see you guys next time.